Now children, this is a new topic. This is Kohlrausch law. It is also known by the name the law of independent migration of ions. Kohlrausch law, or you can say the law of independent migration of ions. Now there are certain things I have written in front of you. Actually Kohlrausch practically find out the molar conductivity at infinite dilution for various electrolytes, and the values I have written in front of you. Now look at this first set. The molar conductivity at infinite dilution for KCl, this is the value. Molar conductivity for NaCl, this is the value. When we subtract these two, the difference is 23.41. Now one thing you can observe in this case, they both have similar anion. Okay. Now come to here. This is molar conductivity at infinite dilution for KNO3. This molar conductivity at infinite dilution for NNO3. This. Now again when we subtracted this two, you can see again the value is 23.41. This difference is also 23.41. This difference is also 23.41. And in both of these cases, one thing is common, that they have a same anion. Chloride, chloride, nitrate, nitrate. Okay, now look at this side. Molar conductivity at infinite dilution for KBr, this is the value. Molar conductivity for KCl, the value. Again the difference was taken 2.06. But this time you can see the cation portion is same. Okay. Okay, now look at here. Again you can see the cation portion is same and the differences remain same. So I think observing all these data, the one result is coming out. You can see these two cases. In both of these cases, when you take a difference, the difference is same. Why? They both of them, they have a similar anion. So can we say कि whatever the molar conductivity at infinite dilution of an electrolyte, there is some definite contribution of the cation and the definite contribution of the anion. For example, the molar conductivity of KCl may be written as the contribution of K plus and the contribution of Cl minus, contribution of Na plus, contribution of Cl minus. So Cl minus cancelled, and the difference of the ionic conductivities of K and Na will be 23.41. Again here NO3 contribution cancel, the difference is again K and N, difference is remain same. So by observing all these results, can we conclude that at infinite dilution, when the dissociation was complete, then towards the molar conductivity, each ion has its own contribution, and this contribution is not affected by the presence of any other ion. You can say here in the molar conductivity at infinite dilution for KCl, the contribution of K plus, contribution of Cl minus is equal to this, contribution of Na plus, contribution of Cl minus this. When you subtract, the Cl contribution cancel, and actually we have a difference of the K plus and Na plus ions conductivities. Okay, so by observing all this data, we can say that according to Kohlrausch law, at infinite dilution, when the dissociation was complete, then towards the molar conductivity, each and every ion has its own definite contribution, and this contribution is not affected by the presence of any other ion. We can say like this: molar conductivity at infinite dilution for NaCl is equal to ionic conductivity of Na plus and ionic conductivity of Cl minus. And the contribution of Cl minus is not affected by Na plus, and the Na plus contribution is not affected by Cl minus. Why we are concluding this? Because you can see the difference is same. Here is also you can see, this is the difference is actually the ionic conductivities of Br and Cl minus 2.06. Here again you can see Na contribution cancel, the differences of the Br minus HCl minus, and you can see the differences remain same. So again, in the last, again we can say at infinite dilution, when the dissociation was complete, then towards the molar conductivity, each and every ion has its own contribution, and this contribution is not affected by the presence of any other ion. Suppose we make a generalization, molar conductivity at infinite dilution for AXBY, then I can say it is equals to ionic conductivity at infinite dilution for A plus Y, how many will form? X, plus how many B will form? Y, ionic conductivity of B minus X. This is a generalization of the Kohlrausch law. Well, AXBY type of electrolyte, then molar conductivity at infinite dilution for AXBY can be written like this. Okay, now after this we are going to discuss about the applications of the Kohlrausch law. First application, to determine molar conductivity at infinite dilution for weak electrolytes. The first application I am going to discuss with the help of Kohlrausch law, how we can determine the molar conductivity at infinite dilution for weak electrolyte. Suppose I want to determine molar conductivity at infinite dilution for acetic acid. Okay. So according to Kohlrausch law, this is equals to the ionic conductivity of acetate ion at infinite dilution plus ionic conductivity of H plus ions at infinite dilution. My aim to find out the value of this. Okay, fine. In my previous lecture, we know that molar conductivity at infinite dilution practically cannot be measured for weak electrolytes. Now let me see how we can take a help of Kohlrausch law to find out the molar conductivity at infinite dilution for weak electrolytes. Okay. Suppose molar conductivity at infinite dilution for CH3CONa. Now CH3CONa is a strong electrolyte. Value can be measured. Suppose it is X. It is equals to ionic conductance of acetate ions plus ionic conductance of Na plus ions. Now I got the ionic conductance of acetate. Now I required H plus also. So molar conductivity at infinite dilution for HCl practically can be measured. Suppose Y. It is equals to ionic conductance of H plus ions and ionic conductance of Cl minus ion. Now I got H plus also. Let me sum up. Okay, so X plus Y is equal to ionic conductivity of acetate ion plus ionic conductivity of H plus ions plus ionic conductivity of Na plus ions plus ionic conductivity of Cl minus. Okay, now I got the value of this two. I don't want this, so I will subtract this with molar conductivity at infinite dilution for NaCl, suppose Z, equals to ionic conductance of Na plus ionic conductance of Cl minus, and subtract. Minus, 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 cancel. So X plus Y minus Z Okay, so this way, with the help of Kohlrausch law, we can find out. Now X is known, Y is known, Z is known. So if we keep these values, we can easily find out the molar conductivity at infinite dilution for acetic acid. Okay, your second application, with the help of Kohlrausch law, we can find out the degree of dissociation for weak electrolytes. Okay, children, I have written this. Alpha is the degree of dissociation and this is molar conductivity at any concentration. Okay, Suppose we are adding a water. Okay, if we are adding a water, according to Ostwald dilution law, alpha is going to increase. If alpha is going to increase, the dissociation is going to increase. And if the dissociation is going to increase, I think more ions will be produced. And if more ions will be produced, definitely the molar conductivity will be more. It means if I am going to add water, if alpha is going to increase, at the same time molar conductivity at any concentration will also going to increase. Again I explain you. Suppose we are going to add a water. As we are going to add a water, the concentration will decrease. If the concentration will decrease, alpha is going to increase. Now alpha is going to increase, that means the dissociation is going to increase. If the dissociation is going to increase, more and more ions will be produced. And if the more and more ions will be produced, definitely molar conductivity will also increase. So I can say that molar conductivity at any concentration is proportional to alpha, where alpha is degree of dissociation. Okay, now we remove the proportional sign and we introduce a constant. Now this is a constant we can use as a constant, and alpha is equal to this. So this can be find out, molar conductivity at infinite dilution can be find out with the help of Kohlrausch law. Molar conductivity at any concentration can be find out by this formula that we studied, if you remember, kappa into 1000 by m. If these two things can form is known to me, I can easily calculate alpha. And if alpha I find out, then according to this expression, I can also find out the value of equilibrium constant or the value of dissociation constant. So you can see in second application, we can find out the two things, the degree of dissociation and the value of equilibrium constant.